Good morning and welcome, Freedomizers. This is Deatra with Freedom Reigns, hosted by Freedomizer Radio. And as promised, I have Drake with us today for nothing more than a Q&A. So if you've got questions, please feel free to call in at 347-324-704. I also have Miss Terry with us today in case somebody has questions for her. I do want to stress that Freedom Reigns does not support or endorse any group out there. We are a collective of individuals who are fighting to bring forth as much truth and positive change and anything else we can to take back our nation. I would like to first, Terry, did you have a announcement you just wanted to, or a statement that you wanted to make before we get started? Terry?
She probably got lost in the mute button.
Yes, she may have. Okay, well, we can come back to her. Terry, let's go ahead and we'll start with you and let you first do a kind of a update for us, if there is one, and then we'll move into the Q&A portion of this.
Okay, there's a whole lot of things going on in terms of happenings that other people are not aware of and that I'm not allowed really to out totally yet. Suffice it to say that I have over the last 2 weeks acquired direct contact with the principals in what we have been saying is going to be coming down the road. Due to that fact, I've gotten a bunch of real specific information and was requested to withhold it until the appropriate time, and they'll tell me. And that just put me right back in the trick bag again, which is a lot of fun. I like biting my tongue, and I just love the idea of sitting here waiting for something to explode. So, that said, there are some general specifics that are occurring that can be made known. Some of the principals in the core group, I would call it, are in process of furthering not only our efforts but also the efforts of the freedom becoming a reality. This involves a variety of things that people might have a little problem with at first, but the structure that we are looking at will basically recombine things on a level that's not been seen since before the British colonies. Now, I'll let everybody go out and burn up the internet and figure that out. But this is basically a factual statement. The documentation is available now to be able to be used in a correct fashion, and we have acquired advisors, various of us, in order to make sure that these things come about correctly. Now, by correctly, okay, here's what the military is waiting on. They're waiting on people to come to the point of taking on our central banking system. The reason being is that I've been educated a little bit, and come to find out, lo and behold, the turkeys at the Fed actually are in charge of exactly everything. It was not fully known to me, not confirmed. So I've been asking these guys pointed questions, and they have been explaining to me not only how, but also names, etc., as to individuals involved, exactly how it came about and all that. I have received an extraordinary financial education. This education confirms my suspicions as to certain things, and I'll give an example of that. You notice that the financial pages that you'll see on TV have a thing called LIBOR, L-I-B-O-R. That's London Interbank Overnight Rate. And I was wondering exactly how they would control all the finance from over there to over here, as an example. Well, come to find out, the Fed owns them. So, little extra backdoor stuff in terms of subterfuge that I wasn't fully aware of, but got confirmed from basically from the original sources. As to what we're doing, we're trying to, some of us are in the process of assisting more states to come into the capability of doing the paperwork, helping them get people, helping them find out what they need to know, how to present things, or whatever it takes. So far, we're looking at also international involvement, which will be announced at a little bit later date. But this is extraordinary, and it's going to be quite a roller coaster ride. So if you don't got seatbelt in your office chair, you might think about it.
Right. Terry, are you with us now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Wow, I don't know what...
she's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I switched phones, same headset, same mic, whatever. Now it works. It didn't then.
Right.
All right. I just have to make a statement out there in regard to this project that has led to Drake sharing in the interview with Mr. Wilcock. That project and the people involved in getting it done are brought together for that purpose only, no other. There are no groups, there are no other projects involved. Freedom Reigns is a radio show. Freedom Reigns has graciously provided us a venue, Drake and me and others, to share information with the listeners out there. That does not mean Freedom Reigns is part of a particular project or vice versa. Excuse me. A few days ago, there was, as you all know, Freedom Reigns also brings and supports various county projects which have been discussed on this show over the last few weeks. That, too, is totally separate. It has nothing to do with what Drake is sharing or I have shared and been involved in. And apparently there were some people who took one of the websites completely out of context, misunderstood, didn't read everything, and decided to call conference calls and cause an uproar. Again, it has absolutely nothing to do with what we have done as a nation or those of us involved, unless we are individually involved in other endeavors outside of it. But nevertheless, that does not mean that Freedom Reigns is part of it officially. They are a radio show.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry. That's greatly appreciated, and it really helps a lot.
Can I help with this?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I had a call today from one of the principals involved in issues dealing with things outside of Freedom Reigns. And this particular principal was a person who was concerned about the questions. Therefore, my suggestion was quite simply to contact everybody involved, as well as those with questions, include myself, and arrange possibly for sometime during the day Monday. I said, I wasn't free until then, or whatever day everybody could get together, and we'll have a little conference call with these people to include the individual that's supposedly been vilified to an extent. So I wanted both Terry and Deatra to know that. The gist of it is that from communications on that subject, I stipulated that they go back and read. So And that's the instruction to them before that call can be made, and I'm going to qualify them on that. So this
I would like to interject.
Took a personal interest. Hold on a second. I took a personal interest for two reasons. Number one, Freedom Reigns is not involved with auxiliary projects, nor are they really affiliated in any way with that. Anybody can get on Freedom Reigns and basically put forth good ideas that will supplement other projects. They can also help us facilitate this one in terms of freedom of the states and various other things. The ideology, and this is something I'm going to step on, the ideology of negativity don't hold water with me at all. I don't like the idea of playing any sort of games, and I will not tolerate that. So anybody that has that in mind might not want to ask me questions that will cause me to go off on them. That's all I have to say. I will announce.
Thank you.
All right, and I would like to make a statement in regard to myself. I am not affiliated or involved in any county projects, no matter where they are. I just don't have the time to even think about going in that direction, even if I would like to. I do support the idea that to restore this nation, even once we as a people once again have control over our nation with enforcement, it has to start at local levels, from the bottom up. It cannot be done from the top down. I do support that. However, I am not connected with any particular county project. I have no opinion as to whether one is better than another, or one has an ulterior motive or doesn't. I do not involve myself in all of that because I'm not part of that process. And I just will ask all of you out there, if you go to one of the websites for one of the county projects and you perceive there to be a problem, go to the person who owns the site. Go and ask your questions and get your answers before you involve a bunch of people in a controversy that doesn't really exist. And do not involve me. Thank you
so much, Terry. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take our first caller. Our first caller is John, and I'm bringing John up now. John, you have a comment or a question?
I have several brief questions. Thank you all for what you do. Drake, will these arrests be limited to politicians and financiers, or will they also encompass, for example, maybe pilots who knowingly have sprayed chemtrails, or city water department managers who understand the dangers of fluoride but still put fluoride in the public water supply?
Okay, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions with a short statement, and I want you to apply this liberally to all of it. Anything that is adverse to either the ideology expressed in the Freedom Project of freeing our nation, to include adversity towards the documents or the people involved, and anything that is adverse to the people in general, the whole of the population of the states at this point, is going to be addressed. Some of it will be nice and some of it will not. Those who have wantonly or guiltily or with foreknowledge intentionally done nasty things to people will be adjudicated. I don't care at what level they are at. It doesn't matter. I understand this is eventually. Now, right at first, there's going to be a lot of the major players taken down. Secondly, each individual group of people in a state concerned with certain things